It is here and it is on. It is fight night. Let's get ready to rumble! The build-up has been like a roller coaster. We are slowly creaking our way up that hill, and now we're at the peak and we're just about to go down into the crevasse. So before you do anything, I need you to watch the full video. If you miss a bit, anything else won't make sense. I don't want any crap comments below. I don't want any uneducated comments below. I'm going to explain to you step by step why I'm going to give you my answer for who will win the KSI Logan Paul rematch tonight. Literally, I am going to build that bridge for you one step by step at a time, so at the end you can understand what the data is presented to you, and you can't lie with biology. So for those viewers who know me, welcome back, and for those who don't, I am Believingbruce, the channel where we help you get inside your head so you can think, feel and act that little bit better. If you like what I do, if you like how I put it across, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, share the shit out my video, do what you want, but join in. Whatever camp you're in, Logan Paul, KSI, I do not care because I haven't got a camp. What I'm here is I am here to deliver the truth. I mean, what a build up this has been. I've been a boxing fan since I was 10 years old. I've been involved in boxing since I was 10. As a spectator, as a watcher of the sport, as a fan, as a boxer myself. Absolutely love it. And I did not think after the Mayweather and McGregor fight, we would ever see the same type of circus, in the history of boxing. I was wrong. I was wrong. These two YouTubers, in their first professional fight, have brought the circus on a global basis. And haven't we enjoyed it? Haven't we enjoyed the ride that culminates tonight? And the build-up we've had it all. We've had Shannon Briggs killing civilians. We've had KSI pushing Logan Paul. We've had Logan Paul looking like a French onion seller, dressing like he's on some type of stimulant.
100%.
We've had Eddie Hearn rubbing his nose, indicating who he thinks or thinks not is going to win tonight.
Hanging around you the last couple of days, yes. I gave you the question yesterday, which was...
We've had the big man, True Geordie, asking the question that only True Geordie could ask live on a Sky stream.
London! What the fuck is up?
And we've also had Joe Weller telling everybody in the world who he thinks has produced the best content for the KSI Logan Paul rematch.
Believingbruce.
Who was that, Joe?
Believingbruce.
Say it one more time, brother.
Believingbruce.
So I've been doing boxing, as I just said, since I was 10 years old. This is my sport. Absolutely love the sport. I was watching the True Geordie trailer last night. If you haven't seen it, the link is below. Fantastic. When Eye the Tiger comes on, if you do not try to get up and destroy the people around you via shadow boxing, I do not understand you. So last night, Eye the Tiger come on towards the end of the trailer. I was up. I was into it. I couldn't sleep for 4 hours. I woke up this morning, watched it again. Yeah, if you haven't seen the trailer, far better than anything else Sky Sports has produced. Absolutely brilliant trailer. Well done to the team at True Geordie Entertainment. This will be the most accurate prediction video that has ever been let loose on YouTube. It is to do with psychology and neuroscience, because you cannot lie with biology. What I'll be looking at now is the factors that are affecting both fighters at this particular time leading up to the fight. What I call the terminal moment. Shit just got real, the fight is here. We've been talking about it for months, but now it's on! We've been talking about the techniques they could use to try and negate each other. Obviously there's a lot of learning going on, there's so much on the line. They've got to have learned from the first fight, one would hope. So what techniques are they going to be adopting? Yeah. To try to negate the other one's strengths. And then put that all together, why do I think who will? But again, when I say who will win, you've got to explain and understand the steps that I'm going to talk through on this short video. And the first thing to notice is that this is based on the data that we have available. Yeah, the data that we have available. Remember, they're not professional boxers. This is the first professional fight. There's a little bit of data on Logan Paul out there where we've seen him boxing and sparring and a bit of shadow boxing, etc. There's virtually nothing on KSI. So what we are going to go off is the body language. Alright, so out of all the data available, we've got to go off the little bit that was there, but let's still make a decision based on this. Again, comment below, but watch the whole video first. It should be fair, it should be balanced, it should be based on the truthful data that we've got access to. Not Logan Paul, hey, not KSI, hey, on the truthful data that was available for us all to see. So the reason why I'm dressed like this is not just for your entertainment. You might have heard of the phrase before, how many hats are you wearing, or depending which hat I'm wearing, you know, when someone's describing how they multitask. I'm wearing the gloves, I'm wearing my robe. Yeah, I'm wearing my protectors and my boots. Because the more I can feel like a boxer, the more I'm likely to understand their world rather than from me standing outside just being an observer. The first thing that I want to cover here is the reward centre. This is something that's going to be affecting both fighters. That's why they're doing it. That's why they're here. Yeah, the reward centre. Sugar, sex, cocaine, banging a turd up in public. Whatever ticks your boat. But the idea is that we do things from an external stimulation point of view. Yeah, an external stimuli that starts to trigger the release of dopamine. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for that hit. And that dopamine production can come from two sources. It can come from external stimulation, as we just talked there, or internal. We can remember a good time. We can remember something pleasurable that happened to us, and that starts to produce the same type of effect. Yeah, so dopamine is very important. We search it out, we seek it, we desire it. And it's controlled by, or at least it's partly controlled by, the mesolimbic dopamine pathway, yeah, MDP. This is the pathway, this is the A1, if you will, the motorway that dopamine passes through. And alongside the motorway are certain structures, certain parts of the brain, just like a service station or a garage you'll see at the side of a motorway, yeah, that feed off the dopamine that are associated with the MDP, the actual pathway that we've just been discussing. And then you've got the ventral striatum, okay, very, very important in the KSI Logan Paul fight. This part of the brain is directly linked, it's directly connected, yeah, the hub of where reward and motivation feelings come from. Now this is interesting because KSI Logan Paul, they've got the money, they've got the fans, they've got the cars. So the next thing that could be affected, why they're doing it, is the ego, yeah, that next hit of the crack pipe, so to speak. And it's not that they want to be the best in this particular point, and again all the language is there. The main thing is not to be the best, it's to be better than him. But when it comes to reward and motivation, yeah, from that reward centre, then what we're looking at here, they've got, you know, have you ever heard of a thing called Maslow's hierarchy? If not, just Google it. But it's basically like a triangle, a nice little model that says we need certain things at this level before we can then try to achieve the next one. So we need food, shelter and water. Yeah, and then we need clothes, and then we might need a job. So when you've got each level, can you only progress to the next one? And again, it could be debated, but it's a nice idea. These guys have got everything. They're at the pinnacle there. So what they're looking for is that next hit. When I mean achieve that feeling, we've got that 1 million followers. That's near the next time. I want 2 million. I need 5 million. It's never enough. Just from Greatest Showman. Never enough, never, never, never enough. But that's what they're doing it for. And you see both Logan Paul and KSI branching out into musics and videos and movies and all this type of stuff. Yeah, because they need that extra stimulation from other areas. So the reward centre is driving them, their ego is driving them, but let's also talk about what could affect it, as in the adrenaline dump. Data comes in, and it comes in via the thalamus, or at least the thalamus picks this up in the context that I'm saying. Depending on the data that we see, it'll either shoot off to the amygdala, yeah, or the neocortex. The amygdala, yeah, it's actually part of that fight or flight. So we'll take in some data and we'll react to it if there's a, if there's a threat to life. And what we've got here, if we've got an example of constant. So our amygdala can spike up and down. Imagine caveman times. They might wake up in the morning, they might scratch their balls. They've got nothing really to do, but apart from when they have to go out and clear, and kill the saber-toothed tiger, that's when their amygdala spikes. Oh, we've got the danger. Bring it forward to 2019, we've got spikes going up and down all the time. Facebook notification, Instagram notification, email, work, I need a job, you're getting grief off your partner. Our amygdala is firing up and down all the time. Our adrenaline, noradrenaline, coming from the sympathetic nervous system. All of this is firing, so that's why at the end of the day, you might feel tired. Yeah, that's constant forces of adrenaline coming into the body, which results in you being really tired. Now, it's important to note that these type of amygdala hijacks, these adrenaline dumps, yeah, they usually occur in a bang and then crash. So when people were talking about Logan Paul's adrenaline dump in the last fight, I didn't actually think that was an adrenaline dump. If that was an adrenaline dump, it probably would have come in the first or second round. He didn't really start to show real fatigue until the third or fourth. But centered this action is a part of the brain called the hypothalamic pituitary adrenal axis. Yeah, hypothalamic pituitary adrenal, HPA axis. This is where we get that threat. It comes into the thalamus, it's shot off to the amygdala, doesn't go to the neocortex, there's no logic there. Yeah, we got caught up in the moment, we're in the zone, we're caught in the headlights, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's where the adrenaline, the noradrenaline, when it comes through the sympathetic nervous system. This is the reaction that either fighter could be having. It could be that both fighters are having. But if they can't control that, that will affect the performance by the result of a crash, a lack of energy, a lack of concentration, a lack of focus. So the techniques, what techniques could the boxers use? Yeah, so they've learned from the first fight, but let's look at Logan Paul. So Logan Paul, he's the bigger chap. His size is going to be a huge difference. I've been reading different reports that he actually had to do a proper weight cut to hit the weight limit. Yeah, whereas KSI's coming up, he's struggling to actually put the weight on. A bit like what Joe Weller was doing to fight KSI, KSI is now doing to fight Logan Paul. But Logan Paul, he will have learned, I hope, that, remember, I'm not on both sides, I just want to see a really exciting fight. I love bombs being thrown, that's just my thing. Mike Tyson was my favourite boxer. But Logan Paul, what he needs to do is that, if he has got that muscular system, a little bit like Anthony Joshua, in fact, very much like Anthony Joshua. If Anthony Joshua doesn't get people out there in the first 4 or 5 rounds, he does struggle. Yeah, so what I would expect Logan Paul to be doing was be standing up on his back leg. Yeah, so the balance on his back leg. Just keeping JJ at bay with that jab. Yeah, even instead of dropping it, maybe he's just doing a bit like Klitschko does. What Vladimir Klitschko does is he keeps that glove out just as that range finder. You know, when you hear people saying, you know, he's keeping the distance. That there is a beautiful way, and I can see Logan Paul doing that. Yeah, just keeping that, and every now and again just popping that right hand. But he's always on that back foot, keeping that range. He doesn't need to hit anybody really hard. He doesn't need to crack JJ, at least not in the first few rounds. But if his strengths are, he's going to be able to control that distance. If JJ does get to the inside, I would expect nothing other than actually Logan Paul to smother him, to grab him, to just roll with him, because again, that depletes energy very, very quickly. So keeping him at range, every now and again, bang. Every now and again, bang. If he comes in smothering up, that's what I'm expecting him to do. What am I expecting JJ to do? Well, JJ's got no choice. He's the littler guy, he's the smaller guy. He's got to get on the inside. One thing we've seen JJ do is them looping punches. There's explosive looping punches. And I think that's going to be the key to this fight. Can he get inside? Can he just put his guard up and sort of weave in and out to try and get in there and start roughing him up on the inside? Logan Paul carries his jab really low. Bit like George Groves. Very effective, very quick, but he carries it low. What I would be doing, if I was JJ, I would have been practicing footwork and timing. So that when Logan Paul throws his jab, yeah, he throws his jab out, it's that little half step here, which means my emphasis is on my back foot. My weight is shifted to my back foot. His jab comes past me, which allows me to push, to jump off my back foot, to try and bring the right hand across. Yeah, so Logan Paul jabs, I move out the way, boosh! One thing, and I was watching the shadow boxing, sorry, not the shadow boxing, the public workout, is that JJ was trying the old Mayweather shoulder roll. Can you do that on the fight? I don't know, especially not with a big guy. Especially not up the ropes. If JJ is up on the ropes and he tries that, all Logan Paul's got to do is that half step and come in across the top. That takes people years to learn to do it effectively. And I hope they haven't been blown shite up his arse where he actually thinks he's really good at that. But we will see on the night. So that brings us back to the training techniques. Have they been using the training techniques that JJ and Logan Paul personally, as individuals, need? Have they been doing what's needed to become a good boxer in the time frame that they've been given? It reminds me of a thing called cargo cult. Have you heard of cargo cult? If not, Google it. And it's about when America was fighting Japan. America took over this little island. Yeah, there was indigenous population there. And they built an airport, they built this, big air base, the planes were coming in. They were giving them the food. Guys were running around singing as American soldiers do. Yeah, so if there's any Americans watching this, you'll get where I'm coming from. And then when the war ended, they left, and there were some people taking down the camp. They were disassembling to try and make it, as it was, so to speak. And what they noticed was that the indigenous population were running around the perimeter of the air, again Google this, were running around the perimeter of the airbase singing songs. And they go, well, what the hell are they singing songs for? And when they actually spoke to the population, the indigenous population, what the message was that they had associated with the American soldiers running around the perimeter of the airbase singing songs with planes coming in, landing and giving them food and vehicles and medical care. Yeah, that's what they had done. They thought that if they ran around the airport singing songs, that was the thing that brought the planes in. That was the thing that brought the planes with the medical care and the food in, so that's why they were doing it. Now, there's loads of examples where we do something because we think we'll get an output, but that output, when you actually look into it, there's no connection there. That's what I'm interested in from this fight. What have they been training and what output have they been expecting from it? What weaknesses do I think the boxers have got? Well, naturally, a question about Logan Paul's stamina is there. That's going to exist, and you may answer that greatly or not so greatly tonight. But again, if I was him, I'd be just controlling that pace with the jab. I'd be making sure my glycogen levels, the process where you've got a thing called adenosine triphosphate. Yeah, we've got adenosine triphosphate in our muscle cells. When we start moving, this exerts and they go down, adenosine biphosphate. So from tri to bi, from 3 to 2. Yeah, but if you can control that pace, there's less stress, there's less need for that aerobic and anaerobic activity to go on. For JJ, it's his size. He is up against it with his size. Even the two videos, the videos where the two of them are side by side. Oh my God, there is a massive size difference. So for me, if I was JJ, I'd be roughing the shit. I'd be hands up there, I'd be moving, I'd be weaving, I'd be getting inside. I'd be doing everything that a pro boxer does. Now, this is the difference. This is the first time they've had a pro fight. When they first pick up those 10-ounce gloves, and that's what these are, 10-ounce gloves, there is nothing in them at all. Yeah? That is a psychological stimuli there. When you pick up the gloves and you feel them, and if you've never boxed before, shut up because you don't understand what I'm talking about. Unless you've ever looked at a pair of gloves and realised, and it's been true, that you're about to get hit, someone's going to actually want to cause you harm with these gloves on, that is a terminal moment. That's another thing where you think, this shit just got real. So, let's just recap. The reward centre part of the brain, that's what they're doing it for. They need that next high. The ego could come into it. And again, it's going to be interesting in the fight. Who can handle the ego best? I'm going to go into that a second here. But the ego is absolutely key. The mental game is absolutely key here. This is what I focus on. Believingbruce. Yeah, the mental side of it. Is a nice, good-looking Geordie bloke once told me on a train. Credits to True Geordie here. Thoughts become things. They absolutely do. They absolutely do. And when you get cracked with that right hand, this is where the ego come into play. And what I've noticed, on the video, even the final press conference, is, and this is factual data, remember, I'm not on anybody's side, it's fair and balanced, is that Logan Paul seems to have the upper hand here. Logan Paul seems to have the upper hand. When JJ talked about, like, say, oh, do you know anything about Muhammad Ali? Logan Paul said, what's like 7 times 8 or whatever it was. Yeah, now again, in the leagues of offensiveness, Muhammad Ali's down here, not knowing maths is up here. It's like saying to some bloke, you got a small weeder? And then going to tell all the girls about it. It's in that league. And then he kept repeating himself. And JJ was Logan Paul was controlling the situation here. JJ was responding to Logan Paul, not because he was trying to beat him, because he couldn't handle, he couldn't sit there in silence. His emotional control was all over the shop in relation to, I need to beat Logan Paul. But Logan Paul, just by doing that, was controlling that situation. But at the face-to-face, where he was still asking mathematical questions, and then JJ pushed him. Yeah, that wasn't violence, that wasn't retribution, that wasn't revenge. What that was JJ's amygdala saying, I can't handle this anymore, I need to get out of that situation. And I know that's not going to please people, but remember, I'm not on Logan's side or I'm not on JJ's side. Yeah, I'm just telling you the fact. That was a self-preservation act, get away from me. And what I mean by winning the mind games, Logan Paul is so much calmer than JJ. Both of them are displaying behaviours you'd expect from two relatively new boxers going in front of the cameras and the lights and dancing underneath them in front of a worldwide audience. And for that we must give props. They are lions in the camp. When people say, Bruce, who you support? I'm supporting both of them. I'm supporting the person who's throwing the bombs because that's exciting. If someone gets knocked down, I'll be supporting that person to get up. I will be cheering for both of them because both of them are putting it all for your entertainment, for my entertainment. And props must be given to both boxers for that. So before I give my prediction, I would just like to remind everybody, that those two fighters deserve a round of applause from everybody in the globe. They are putting it all on the line. And some people say, well, they don't have to. Well, they do. They're looking for that next hit, to be fair. They're looking for that next high. And they're not trying to be the best. They're just trying to be better than each other on that particular night. But we are the timid souls. We are the timid souls who are looking on to the arena. And again, just like I said about the Joe Weller story in my poem, I will reiterate the poem because I think now, more than ever, it's relevant. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who was actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust, sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes short again and again, but who does actually strive to do the deed, who knows the great enthusiasm, the great devotion, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end at the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. And that's what it is. You've got two blokes putting it all on the line tonight. We should all stand up and give them an ovation. 99% of you watching this will have never took a big right hand to the face. So, putting all that together, the reward centre, the ego, yeah, the adrenaline dumps, the size difference, the techniques, the learning from the last fight, the data that we've got to go off, who's winning the mind control. Yeah, for me, the data, and again, admittedly, it is a limited pot of data, but I'm going to put my neck on the line here. I'm not going to be a timid soul. I'm not going to say, oh, well, they could do this, or Logan Paul could win in the early rounds, JJ could. No, I'm not going to do that. Because I am going to dare to be great and I will fall on my sword. But the data, I'm not Logan Paul, I'm not JJ. The data is telling me to go with Logan Paul. So there you go. The beauty of boxing is that I can be absolutely proved wrong. But what an absolute cracker it's going to be tonight. Believingbruce, I'm more excited than a kid in a sweet shop.